December Holidays and Celebrations, Chapter 10, Super Holiday Spectacular. When Annabelle woke up that day, she knew it was going to be one of the greatest days ever. At 6:30 p.m., Melville School would be hosting their annual Super Holiday Spectacular. This is what the committee had worked on all month long, and today was the day. This was going to be a new and improved celebration with the ideas from the mind of Annabelle Copeland. Annabelle was very confident that things would go well, especially with a very supportive PTA. The parents started early in the morning putting up decorations. When Annabelle arrived at school, she saw Mrs. Jacobson and some other parents hanging the new Super Holiday Spectacular sign above the physical education doors. All PE classes were going to be held in individual classrooms so the parents could start their major decorations early. Annabelle and the other youth members of the committee could only help after school was over. During times like these, Annabelle wished she were an adult. Annabelle's mom was at the school too, since she was a PTA member. She bought all the arts and crafts for the Kwanzaa station that Annabelle and Adele were going to run. Adele's mom, Mrs. Benson, came too. She had a carload of African art, African sculptures, assorted pieces of African kente cloth, and African culture books she had borrowed from the library. Mrs. Copeland brought red, black, and green balloons and streamers. Together, Mrs. Benson and Mrs. Copeland were going to create a little African village for the Kwanzaa station. Since it was the day before the holiday break, Mrs. Mitchell knew how excited the whole class was today. She also knew some of the students were very distracted by all the excitement happening in the school. Three of her students had already left school early for the holiday break, so she took it easy on them work wise. Mrs. Mitchell did writing workshop, reading workshop, science review, and some holiday math sheets. They also did quiet reading and journal writing, and before they knew it, the day was almost over. Annabelle and Adele didn't take the bus home today because their parents were already at the school. Caitlin and Barry didn't take the bus either because they were going to help decorate their stations in the gymnasium. When Annabelle, Adele, Caitlin, and Barry entered the gymnasium, they couldn't believe their eyes. The Hanukkah, Christmas, and Kwanzaa stations each looked amazing. Another surprise they saw was Mrs. Kessler working right alongside the PTA parents, hanging balloons and streamers. She had finally gotten into the holiday spirit after all. Mrs. Kessler was wearing a Santa hat with bells and was humming a holiday song. That special sight was a holiday gift for the whole committee. Annabelle could tell that Mrs. Kessler's smile was real this time. The parents had created a maze for the people to walk through as they appreciated all the unique artifacts. Everything was hung on movable bulletin boards and chalkboards that were covered with festive paper. Annabelle thought that one of the parents must be an interior decorator and professional designer because of how creative and superior the displays looked. Annabelle was so glad that the parents left the arts and craft part to the youth. Doing arts and crafts was really Annabelle's specialty, so everyone went over to their station and started covering the tables with festive tablecloths and assembling all the crafts and games. This was the easy part of decorating and preparation. There was another crew of parents working in the auditorium, creating the Winter Wonderland theme. White balloons and streamers were placed all around. The DJ was set up playing cool music. The food tables were stocked and ready to go. Everything was coming together nicely, and they were having a good time. At about 5 o'clock, everything was finished and looking spectacular. This event was going to live up to its name, Super Holiday Spectacular. Everyone took a pizza and juice break for dinner. They probably wouldn't get another rest time for the whole night. At exactly 6:30, the people came in like clockwork. A lot of oohs and ahs were heard along with great reviews. No one had ever seen anything like this before at Melville School, or anywhere for that matter. The committee had definitely outdone itself once again, and Annabelle was happy to be part of such an awesome celebration. Chapter 10 is finished. I have a question for you.
Why do you think Mrs. Kessler got into the holiday spirit, and how did she show it?
Don't forget to answer Annabelle's discussion corner questions at the end of the story. Bye!